Here it is, the 2023 Honda Pilot. This is the EXL trim level we're going to be taking a look at today. And we're going to answer the question, what is it you get for a sticker price of $43,295? Well, for one thing, you will get a fully redesigned Pilot. We're going to talk about what the changes are for 2023, including the changes under the hood, the changes behind the engine, transmission-wise, changes to overall look, and the changes you can expect here within the interior as far as cargo capacity goes and all of those good features. And what does the dashboard look like? Well, we're going to take a closer look in just a little bit and show you exactly what Honda has done. I borrowed this crystal black with jet black interior Pilot EXL from my friends here at Holmes Honda in Shreveport, Louisiana. So if you're interested in purchasing this exact model or any other Honda from Holmes Honda, check out the link down in the description of the video. So let's talk about differences in size. How much bigger is the new Pilot? Well, the wheelbase that is measured from the center of one tire to the center of the other, and I know there are people on the internet who say that is not wheelbase, just search it out on your favorite search engine and you'll find out that that is true. The wheelbase increases by 2.8 inches. The bumper-to-bumper overall length will increase by 3.4 inches. In the front, the width is going to increase between 1.1 and 1.2 inches, and the width in the rear increases between 1.4 and 1.5 inches. And while I did give you the new dimensions as far as the overall size of the Pilot goes, it does look quite a bit bigger, but that's mainly because of the fact that it's so much more squared off, or let's just say boxy, but not in a bad way. That doesn't mean it looks bad. It doesn't really have the actual aerodynamics of a brick. It still has some nice lines to it, the way everything is shaped. So it's still going to get some decent gas mileage for what it is. And as we take a look here at the front end, we're gonna see we still have that nice large grille. It's not gloss black here on the EXL trim level, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Not a bad thing, but not a bad thing either. And then we take a look down there at the lower grille. Gonna have that same non-gloss look to it, the flat black or matte black look to it as well. And the new headlight design, looking very nice. As you can see, it's kind of slimmed down, but gained some length to it. LED daytime running lights. And that flickering effect that you see, no, you cannot make it do that. That has to do with the shutter speed of my GoPro. Yes, people have asked about that before, so I have to make sure I cover that. And you can see the slimmed down and, again, elongated turn signal indicator up there. You also have the LED fog lights down there on the lower portion of the bumper. We're going to have some chrome trim to accent the front air curtain. We're going to have one on obviously each side of the front end here, allowing air to flow through the front end and help improve gas mileage. And what about tire and wheel size? The width is going to be 255. The sidewall size is going to be 60. This is the sidewall in case you were wondering. And the rim will be 18 inches. And then we move our way up here to the heated power adjustable side view mirrors. Gonna have the body color mirror cap there. Yes, the turn signal indicators are built in. You do have Honda sensing here, which is going to include blind spot monitoring, as you can see there, traffic jam assist, lane departure, and road departure mitigation. All those good features are going to be there. And yes, adaptive cruise control is also included in Honda Sensing. You have the manually folding side view mirrors. I like to show that in the video because yes, somebody actually asked in the comments section about that and said, why didn't you show how to fold the manually folding side view mirrors? They were actually serious, at least they seem to be. And you do have the locking gas door right there. That's a good thing because you have capless fuel fill. I'll give you a quick look at the remote before we unlock everything. It does have remote start. As you can see right there, you may have even heard the gas door unlock. So there you go. It does indeed unlock. We're going to have the nice large windows, the body color shark fin antenna, and we'll finish things off with the body work here on the rear with this nice roof spoiler that channels the air over that rear window. When your vehicle's sitting still though for a long period of time and gets some dirt or whatever on the back window, And of course, obviously, when it's raining, you can run that rear window wiper. I really would have liked to have seen Honda conceal that rear window wiper away right there. And we will finish our lighting off with the LED taillights, the nice large Pilot logo back here, a very clean look to finish things off. And while the engine under the hood is the same displacement, this is not the same 3.5 liter V6 we saw with the previous generation of the Pilot. And before you comment and tell me that I'm wrong on my horsepower numbers, do some research. It's not making 280 horsepower, it's making 5 more, 285. That's just part of the change. 262 on the torque, that number remains the same, but as I said, what this motor mates up to has changed. It's not a 9-speed automatic transmission anymore, it's a 10-speed automatic transmission. And you can get these models, as far as the EXL goes, in either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. If you go with all-wheel drive, 80% of the horsepower is going to the rear tires. And how about those all-important MPGs? 19 city, 27 highway, 22 combined, and 4.5 gallons of gas is what Honda says you should use per every 100 miles you drive. The towing capacity will remain the same with a maximum of 5,000 pounds. We'll open the power rear door to reveal the increased cargo area. It's going to be 18.6 up to 86.5 up to 87 cubic feet. And just to give you a little demonstration to show that you can recline these rear seats, obviously, or you can lay them flat. Let's see if we can do that real quick just to show you how this works. Obviously, you can do this with all of the seats, and depending on trim level, you can actually remove that middle seat in this second row area up here. And something else that I wanted to show that I like here. Let's say you don't have your little cover to protect your floor back here and keep things nice and clean. So if you're hauling something that's potentially going to get the carpet dirty, you do have a plastic side to the floor. Now let's see here. We do have the removable floor here, this area that can come out. Obviously, it conceals away what we have here as far as the underfloor storage right here. And there is your other option, the carpet, the more luxurious end of things that you can use if you so desire. And by the way, you do have some more options back here with the 12-volt power outlet. We also have a little bit of space right here and a little bit right here that I guess could be usable as well. You also can have a cargo cover that goes right in that notch right there. We don't have that installed right now, but that is an available option. And taking a look into the interior, the jet black interior, a little more in depth now that we're going to take a look at the back seat area. You do have the privacy shades, nothing new, but it is here in case anybody wanted to know about that. If I can get that off, takes a little talent to do that one-handed, I guess. And we're going to have the nice comfortable armrest. Put my arm up there to show that yes, it is comfortable. I'm going to tell you that it is, because it really is. We're going to have the gloss black accent right here. We're going to have quite a bit of space with the door bins. The upper door bin offering a little bit of space for the snacks right there, a couple of different options for different shapes of bottles, and the lower door bin as well. Now, one thing you won't find here is a sunroof. That doesn't mean it's not available. In fact, it's a panoramic sunroof for 2023. And we do have tri-zone climate control, if I don't get tongue twisted and mess things up too badly there. Dual zone in the front, single zone here in the rear as far as that goes. I'll turn that on for just a minute for you to see what's going on. We obviously have the fan speed right there. We can turn that fan speed down, control our temperature, and do whatever we need to do right there. So we'll turn that off for now just to save the sound of the fan running. Now, one thing I would like to see here is 3 USB ports, since you have seating for 3 people back here. We do have additional storage with these seat back pockets, but when you don't have 3 people sitting in this middle row, the passengers can lower this section down to reveal cup holders and some space for snacks. Now, one thing I wanted to do here is show that you have multiple options here as we get into the rear seating area. Yes, I'm going to hop back here and show you what we have as far as this goes. here is what we have. This seat is all the way back. Now, I don't know how realistic it is to have the seat as far forward. This is as far forward as this seat on the passenger side will go, but you'll see that I have a lot of leg room. Let me sit straight up and show you how much headspace I have. I'm 5'10", so that tells you there is a decent amount of headspace back here. Actually, quite a roomy rear seating area. We're going to have additional air conditioning vents for these third row passengers. Going to have a couple of bottle holders or cup holders there, and USB connectivity. And looking in through the passenger side front door, we're going to have, again, those upper and lower door bins. A lot of space there, a lot of options, as you can see right there. And then we'll have the, again, nice comfortable armrest. If I was testing for the doneness of a steak, that would actually be a rare to medium rare steak. That means that's going to be very comfortable. The heated and power adjustable seats for the driver and the passenger, I wish that they were ventilated, but not in this particular case. And then we're going to have the gloss black surround for the air conditioning vent. A nice amount of space up here for a cell phone, multiple cell phones, or whatever anybody wants to put up there. And we're going to take a look here. While we're here, I'll just go ahead and show you. Yep, all you have there is the heated seats. You can sync both sides together with the dual zone climate control. And we do have wireless charging here on the EXL trim level, more USB connectivity options, and a 12-volt power outlet. And again, one of those things that I know are going to have people giving varying opinions. Tell me which one is yours. Push button shifter right there. The advantage to that is when the shifter is back into the drive position. If you had a conventional style shifter right here, well, it would make it hard. You'd have to reach around it to get to your drink. So there is an advantage there. And we'll go through our driving modes in just a little bit, but there's your drive mode selector, hill start assist. You can turn off the auto stop start feature, your power parking brake, and brake hold mode. That, if you're not familiar with brake hold mode, that means when you come to a complete stop, the brakes, if it's engaged, the brakes do not disengage until you push the gas pedal again. So that's got its advantages. The large center console, it's going to have the lid right here. That feels more like a well-done steak, maybe a little bit more. But when you put your arm on there, it's not terribly uncomfortable. In fact, it actually feels pretty good. And we'll take a look inside. Quite a bit of space down there as far as storage space. And yes, we do have the gloveless glove box here. I'm still waiting to see some gloves show up here in the glove box, but not in this case, but you can see the space that is there. And we have the conversation mirror. So there's that. If you want to show the kids your angry eyes or your happy eyes. It doesn't have to be angry eyes, does it? And also another multitasker, because it's the conversation mirror and the sunglass holder or whatever you want to put in there. You can put your regular glasses in there too. And how about the vanity mirror? There it is. Hi, everybody. We have the light right there as well. And let's see, how far back does this go? Well, I'd say that's far enough back. This seat that I'm sitting in is very reclined quite a bit. So if you weren't this reclined, you wouldn't get that sun in right there. That goes back really far. And if you want to exercise 285 horsepower, there's the oh crap handle for your passengers to grab on to. And as you would expect on the driver's side door panel, you're going to have a few more accessories, all the controls for all 4 windows, the power side view mirrors, and obviously the same door bin setup. But one thing that even at a price point that's under $45,000, I still think it would be added value for Honda to not only have the seat memory here on the driver's side, but also on the passenger side as well. It's only on the driver's side here. You do have the ability to open the power tailgate from here if you want to with the button. If you have a front-wheel drive Pilot, you can use that button to turn off traction control and attempt a front-wheel drive burnout. And we'll hit the start button for the engine, start everything up. We'll show the digital instrument cluster here as far as what we have. We have our steering wheel mounted controls here. As you can see, there's everything for adaptive cruise control. And I'm going to hit the home button right there, hit it twice so that I can go through some of the functionality that you have here. I'm just going to run through what we have. I'm not going to stop and talk about each one, but just to show you what's here on the dashboard as far as your instrument cluster goes. And then we'll make our way over here to the 9-inch, in this case, touch screen, completely changed for 2023. From what we saw in the previous generation, it's going to be sitting up at a 90-degree angle, so that's going to help to reduce glare. You can pair your smartphone and use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto compatibility if you want to, so you can see what all is there. And then we'll go back to the screen right here and show you that Honda has added some very nice graphics to the screen as far as depending on what you want to work with the vehicle, what you want to change, turn on, turn off, make changes to. Let's get that to work right there. There's your power tailgate settings, as you can see. And then we'll go back home. I'm going to put the transmission into reverse so you can see the multi-view rear view camera. That hasn't changed on this particular model. Now, the upper trim levels do offer a multitude of different camera options. With the Trail Sport, you also have the Trail Cam. So quite a bit going on as far as all of that is concerned. So that's basically, for the most part, without going into too great a detail, I think you know what's here as far as controlling your headlights and hopefully using your blinkers when you're driving down the road, and then you can control your front and rear window wipers here. Now, one thing I will say, depending on the trim level you buy, if you have the front view camera, you can actually push, or multiple cameras, you can actually push a button right here to bring all of those up on the infotainment screen. It also has a front camera washer. We don't have that here, so I can't demonstrate it on this EXL trim level. But what I can demonstrate is what it's like to drive this EXL 2023 Honda Pilot. But before I do, I better be a man of my word and show you the driving modes. I said I was going to do that. Let's not forget. So here we go with our driving modes. We have Econ, we have Snow, we're going to go down to Tow mode, and then we'll go up and see normal mode as well. We also have sport mode in case you're feeling sporty and want to have a spirited driving experience in your Honda Pilot. Okay, now that we're out on the road for our test drive with the Pilot, driving on the particular road that I'm about to turn off of right now reminds me of the fact that the Pilot's never really had a bad ride quality, and it definitely does not now. So we're going to get onto a smoother section of road, but while I was thinking about that, I did want to mention that the Pilot's a very easy vehicle to drive. While it's a mid-sized SUV, it's not enormous, but it's not exactly small. It's sure not an HRV. It's very easy to get around. It's easy to drive. It has a nice tight turning radius for its size. It's just an easy vehicle to drive. Now, depending on what options you get, what trim level you have for your Pilot, maybe you're coming from a really small vehicle and you're learning to drive a bigger vehicle for the first time. Well, having those additional camera views will sure help in that respect. But there's a lot of good options here, depending on your situation. If you want all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, well, you can opt for that, whatever the case is. And not only is the ride quality good here, the interior is comfortable. Now, I'm only sitting here in the front seat. I don't have any way to obviously ride in the middle or the back seat and tell you what the ride experience, ride quality is like back there compared to what we have here in the front. But maybe we'll do that in a future video. I'll have to have somebody with me to help out with that. But we'll just wait and see. But one way or another, I really enjoy driving these Pilots. And while this Pilot has the latest in technology from Honda as far as the infotainment screen goes, one thing I can definitively say is the fact that this is not difficult technology to learn for those who have held on to the same vehicle for the last 20 or so years, maybe 30 years, and you're saying to yourself, I'm still kind of scared of the technology and learning that. How hard is that to deal with? Well, depending on your situation, you may be used to using a smartphone, and if you are, I promise you that the technology here will be very easy to learn. One way or another, it's very easy to learn. And as you could see just then, we did a little bit of an acceleration test. I didn't even get to maybe about half throttle in that particular case. But the Pilot makes plenty of power. 285 horsepower is not exactly weak. Maybe compared to some vehicles on the road, it may not be as good as it is with others with 300 plus, but you really don't need that much. 285 horsepower, while it's just a 5 horsepower bump for 2023, that's not much. But it's here, it is what it is. you're doing just fine. You're gonna get down the road with absolutely no problem. And guess what? I'm gonna stay in my lane, unlike the people who just turned in front of me right there. That area right there is kind of funny about that. People wanting to turn into a different section, but let's just go ahead and go this way. Good thing I did that, because somebody just at the last second there in the Jeep Grand Cherokee decided to make a lane switch. I'm going to go ahead and move over here and let the F-150 get in front of me, get in that lane, and we'll go ahead and go around it because they're turning too. I think that's just kind of must be a trend today on the road. But what is my overall verdict without getting distracted by things that people are doing around us on the road here? The Pilot is a really nice vehicle to drive. Plenty of space. As you know, a little bit bigger for 2023, but not so much bigger that you're thinking, well, maybe I should just buy a Suburban. No, it hadn't increased in size by that kind of number, nowhere close to it. But you do have increased size by just a little bit, which is good because that helps to increase cargo capacity. So if you're looking for a little bit of extra room for those road trips, well, you have it now. A very comfortable interior, a comfortable ride quality, easy technology to learn, but very useful technology. I think Honda's done a very good job here as far as the 2023 Honda Pilot goes. And, well, depending on where you are, I think the price is fairly reasonable for what it is in this day and age, considering the fact that, well, with some vehicles that you can buy, definitely not any Hondas at this point, you could buy a house for the same thing you can pay it for a vehicle. And that is what you get for a sticker price of $43,295 with the 2023 version of the Honda Pilot EXL. Tell me what you think down in the comments section. Do you plan to buy a Pilot for 2023? If so, what trim level? How are you going to spec it out? Or are you just going to go and see what's on the lot and choose what is there based on what is there? Tell me all about it down in the comments section. I got to say a special thanks to my friends at Holmes Honda for loaning me this 2023 Pilot for the day, and a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.